This is Daily Blast Live. We're talking about what you're talking about.
Get real.
You all ready for this? Dun 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 dun. No.
Y'all, just
stop.
This is a sham. Hey. Welcome to DBL Packed House this evening. Stephanie Jones joining us down in the end there.
Everybody.
Welcome back, Steph. We got a lot to get to, so let's start. The Met Gala returned to its usual spot this year on the first Monday in May, and the stars came out in full force to walk the red carpet in style. Like I said, Stephanie Jones is with us to break down the best and the worst looks of the night. Welcome back once again, Steph. For the first time in Met Gala history, all of the Kardashian Jenner sisters were invited, but reviews of their style were mixed. Some loved Khloe and Kendall's gold and black gowns. Cue the music. But others took issue with Kylie's backwards baseball cap and Kourtney's low-key gown. Kim showed up with Pete with bleach blonde hair wearing Marilyn Monroe's iconic gold dress, the exact same one she wore when she sang Happy Birthday to President Kennedy. Here's a look at the dress from the back on Marilyn Monroe in 1962. That's Kim, right? Oh, there we go.
There it is.
Listen, I got to tell you, this is really cool. And I'm not into this Met Gala and the fashion. This is wild, Steph, that they gave her access to this dress.
So Ripley's, believe it or not, actually lent her the dress for the night. And there's rumors that as soon as she got off the red carpet, she had to switch into a replica because obviously that dress is one of a kind, so the only one, right?
Yeah, I mean,
I thought it'd be in the Smithsonian.
That's where I thought it would
It's
be.
in Ripley's, believe it or not, but it is, they think close to about $5 million.
Yeah.
It's an amazing artifact.
I mean, she looked amazing. Can you imagine how miserable that household would have been, her being on a diet that intense for like 3 weeks before?
I heard she had to lose 15 pounds.
16?
Yeah.
That last pound's
That's
always
a
the
lot
hardest.
of weight for somebody already so small. But I loved the hair. I love that the hair was so simple that it didn't take away, and it also didn't look like it was a costume.
I agree with that.
No, she put her own Kim Kardashian twist on it, and it's so nice to see her doing this after the era of Kanye has moved on. She's back to her really glamorous, non-dementor kind of vibes.
Nice.
Absolutely, and other stars brought their A game because that was tough to beat. I'm going to tell you, that was tough to beat. Steph, take us through some of the best looks of the night. Let's start with that.
Okay, Jeff. So Megan Thee Stallion really embraced the Gilda glamour theme with this gold dress with a feathered mini cape. It made her look like a Greek goddess. And then a fellow rapper, Cardi B, also stunned in gold. And then Lizzo's dress took 22,000 hours to make. And she paired it with literally the ultimate accessory. It was her flute, which was a casual $55,000.
What a flautist.
Then we've got Kaya Gerber, obviously Cindy Crawford's daughter. She looked like the Hollywood starlet. And Janelle Monáe.
Yes.
She brought Gilda glamour, but she said it was from the future, and she wore Ralph Lauren.
She looks like she's from the future.
She does.
She always does.
Yeah.
She kills it. But of course, it has to be my favorite look of the night. It was Blake Lively's optical illusion dress. It started off in this gorgeous copper color, but check it out. When some men came on to help her, they released the bow, and then it transformed into a teal green. So she said it was a tribute to New York architecture and the Statue of Liberty. And believe it or not, that bottom half of the dress is actually leather that's been hand painted. Isn't that incredible? Yeah, and even her husband, Ryan Reynolds, he could not take his eyes off his wife and gave her a little applause. They are the ultimate couple goals.
I like the roar from the crowd like the Berlin Wall just came down, right?
A different color.
I like where he was standing, though. He was just like, I know this about you. He was like behind the lights, like, this is all you. So, I mean, that was a really cool moment.
It was so cute. We saw them like hugging and having pictures, and you saw her do the cutest little, okay, off you pop.
Yeah.
And he was like, got it.
You're not needed.
Is this kind of like where it's going? Because that's what I would take. If me and my wife went to the Met Gala, let's dream, right? I would let her be the star, right? I'd be in the back, kind of like Ryan Reynolds. Pete Davidson was very dressed like a blues brother in the back, right?
Right.
And let
There's a famous clip going viral now of Beyonce at the Met with Jay-Z, and finally someone yells, the press goes, solo, we just want solo Beyonce. And he's like, all right, and he walks away, and the crowd is like, yeah! They're like, we don't need him. It really is showing that off.
I like how Jeff said he would let his wife be the star. The truth is, she is going to be the star. I mean, because here's the thing,
Dang.
too. Well,
Erica?
no, for you.
Let me have a little.
I'm sorry. I know that's a very sore topic. No, I'm just kidding. But the truth is, like, for someone like you, you're going to go classic every time. You're not going to do the, like, Back to the Future, thing where you're
He's
going
not going to have the ASAP Rocky quote on, which I would pay money to see.
So, I mean, for a situation like this, yes, I automatically, I mean, some men did absolutely show out. I know we're going to talk a little bit more about that, but it's really about the women.
Mm-hmm. It really is. It really is. So now on to the favorite, my favorite, I should say, some of the worst looks of the night, Steph. These are the ones I enjoy.
Oh, yeah, no, come on. So Amy Schumer, her black coat, dress and sunglasses, it was so plain and boring, looks like she made no effort, super off-brand for her, don't know what she was thinking. Emily Ratajkowski, okay, this was cute, but it looks like she's at the wrong party.
Yes.
It's like she's at Coachella.
Yeah, Coachella for sure.
Like, I don't know what was going on
I'm okay with it.
Oh, yeah, Gigi Hadid wore this Versace puffy coat and matching latex pants. I mean, I just think it was so off-theme. I don't know what's going on. And talking of latex, we saw Tommy Dorfman. I just felt that this was so inappropriate for the theme and what was going on. It's by a London designer called Christopher Kane. It's cut out, it's latex. I mean, if it was a bit more of like a fancier disco, I don't know, super party, but for the Met Gala, it's a hard no. Then we've got Nicki Minaj with the black baseball cap and leather pants. Again, I just think this is such a miss for the theme of the night.
What was the deal with the baseball caps?
Well, obviously, I know Kylie's, we had a picture of the Kardashians earlier. Hers was a tribute to the Louis Vuitton and Off-White designer Virgil. Yeah. But with Nicki, I genuinely don't know.
And it's weird because when I thought gilded, and you look that up, that's again that 1870s Bridgerton look, the white tails. Some people took gilded to mean more metal, I think more gold. But the latex to me and the baseball hats, I was like, I am lost.
We literally saw so much of literally black lace, kind of the trend of the night was that. I mean, I know we've got some pictures of the best trends of the night. We've got like Lenny Kravitz. We saw
Bella let's move on to the best trends of the night.
Yeah, I know we've got those.
Yeah, so let's see the best trends this year.
Good transition, Jack.
Yeah, so even though the gala was themed gilded glamour, the colour was black and it was back in a really big way. We've got Lenny Kravitz. He wore a black leather corset and a sheer black cape. Then Bella Hadid went for the leather and lace look. Super sexy.
I love that.
I think it's more modern take on the theme, but...
And naughty, modern naughty.
Very naughty, but I'm here for it. And someone who normally goes all out, but she was super conservative, was Katy Perry. I actually loved that she did this. I was glad to not see her rocking a hamburger.
Yeah. Right.
It's, we're not hanging out at Wendy's. It's the Met Gala. This was Oscar de la Renta, loved it. And Vanessa Hudgens went for a sheer black dress. It left nothing to the imagination. She looked stunning.
I did like her look.
I like that. I had a question when I looked at all these. Why didn't we see like any like steampunk? Like nobody went for that.
It was meant to be like 1870s to 1890s.
I thought that was like kind of pre-industrial revolution, like the big top hats. Wasn't that like Abe Lincoln, like 1880? Like,
I think a top hat could have gone, but steampunk would have been a little heavy, I feel.
I know.
And I think that
maybe a boy can dream. Maybe I just want to wear a top hat and not want an excuse.
You know what Anna Wintour said? She's writing the list for next year, starting today, based on everyone's behaviour, who behaved at the party. So there you go, Al. Now's your chance. Throw your top hat.
Let me throw a little conspiracy theory out there. Amy Schumer. Yeah. Do you think she looked a little like Men in Black?
I don't think she looked like Men in Black, but I feel as though she's a bit too in with the Kardashians at the moment. She's just been on Keeping Up with the Kardashians, the new season.
But do you see where I'm going with that?
Well, she stood next to Venus Williams, who also wore
the same look.
And they were like,
we're going to go out and give it like a
You guys aren't picking up what I'm throwing down.
I'm saying might it have been a Women in Black thing?
No, I think he's talking about Will Smith.
Yes.
Yeah, I just think no.
Yeah. That's really tinfoil.
Was that a stretch? That was a stretch.
Yeah, maybe a little.
Well, you're the only one who picked it up, so yeah, it was a stretch.
Will Rihanna come up at some point? Because I feel like this is an iconic moment where somebody who didn't actually attend the Met Gala won the Met Gala.
I mean, that's pretty epic, isn't it?
Rihanna was immortalized in stone and was centerpiece at the Met Gala. Like, she wasn't even there.
They should have dropped that off right in the middle.
It would have been good if that had been rolled up the red carpet.
She is in the middle, inside.
Yeah. I know,
where
but like right where the stairs are, where everybody's walking through. I didn't make people walk around my statue.
Her.
And I thought it was. She's busy. She's like about to have a baby in Barbados, so she's living her best life.
I thought it was like one of those guys on the street that painted some silver. You give them $1 and they just don't move.
Brianna's like, nah, what's my name?
Coming up on DBL, our interview with Howie Mandel. Steph, thank you so much. Always great having you here. He's telling us all about his new game show that's giving out more money than Deal or No Deal. Plus, case closed. We're talking about who the jury sided with in the Blac Chyna versus the Kardashian lawsuit. Stick around. We're going to tell you the answer.
Closed captioning provided by
Daily Blast Live is always timely, always focused, always ready, always on cue. This May, don't miss a day. DBL is all new every day.
What's going, guys? So we're talking about more about the Blac Chyna. Just so you know, the Blac Chyna Kardashian Jenner court case, the sketch artist, is going super viral with those really cool pictures of everyone on the stand with those like quick sketches.
Yes. Are those being auctioned? Do you know?
I don't know, or like NFT'd. And to be honest, if you ask me what,
Aren't they like federal property?
no, they're for the public. The press gets them because there's no other way to record. Thank you, Al. But what's interesting is people are like, those are dope pictures just in themselves as like evidence of this court case. So the judge did dismiss Kim from the court case completely. So she's out. And we'll find out what the jury sided with in the end result. But those pictures are well done.
I mean,
They give you an attitude. They give you like a sense of Blac Chyna's
and I also kind of
swagger.
like it better than the
Photos?
actual photos.
Yeah, I know what you mean.
It's interesting.
Yeah.
I would like to see it as this real old manish. I'd like to see a documentary on the history of court photos. Because like there have been such, like obviously iconic cases. I'm sure there's like some really cool OJ ones.
Oh,
and, like,
yeah.
I don't know. There's some.
I'm sure this one, remember this one with the glove?
Oh yeah.
That was such a major
Johnny
moment.
Cochran.
If it doesn't fit, you must.
I would like to talk to you at some point about
Grinding.
how that changed in terms of like defense strategy, just going after emotional, response. Because like when you look back at the evidence against OJ,
It was bad.
It was not great.
It's very bad.
They even had
Oh,
DNA.
I'm in the wrong seat. I'm so sorry.
Yeah, I was just.
Oh, wait,
standing
I'm so
there.
sorry. I'm
I was
so
just gonna
sorry.
passive aggressively
So sorry.
bully you off of your seat.
So sorry. Just so you know, too, in the OJ case, it went on for so long that jurors just wanted to get out of it. So defense attorneys have changed their strategy to not
just
go
drag it out.
on and on. The prosecution just went on and on. Get it done so a jury can digest it, basically.
Welcome back. Tori just hit me with one of those. Yeah. That was weird. Yeah. Welcome back. Blac Chyna lost her fight against the Kardashians. She was suing the family for $100 million, if you remember, saying they conspired to get her show Rob and Chyna canceled, which she said cost her millions in future earnings. But yesterday, the jury sided with the Kardashians. During the trial, members of the Kardashians and Jenner family took the stand and testified that in many instances, Chyna abused Rob during their relationship, causing the downfall of the show. That's the Cliff Notes version.
Yeah.
No money.
Yes. I would just like to say, as someone who watched the show from start to finish.
Rob and Chyna?
I did.
Okay.
I was very fascinated by the show.
I don't think I expected.
Yeah,
I did not know that. Yeah, I did not know that.
I was very fascinated. I remember the era quite well, and it had run its course. And
You don't say.
You get the wrap up.
the reason why is because for people who were pulled in the beginning, like myself, I was really like, no, this is real. They really, like this weird, strange way of coming together. It happens a lot. And there seemed to be the support system there. Rob was starting to lose weight after a long time, which was only significant because he had become so reclusive and had gained a lot of weight. And that was something that was making him, socially paralyzed.
Yeah.
And she seemed to really be supporting him. And they seemed to have this whole thing. Towards the middle, it got a little hairy. And then at the end, we were like, where do we go from here? And now we know. Cancellation.
Yes, you do.
Case closed.
And I think the big part of the court case that a lot of people are still talking about was actually Corey's taking the witness stand. That is, of course, Kris Jenner's boyfriend or partner, saying he witnessed Blac Chyna physically abuse whip with a phone cord or, do other things that are domestic violence, straight up violence. There's no way you're going to win with a jury when you hear that.
Well, she admitted it.
Yeah, I mean, you're just not going to get that.
Yeah, that's not great that she admitted it. And also, we're kind of laughing, and this is kind of a, it's a weird pairing, and there are some funny parts. But just as a network, you cannot continue to put a show on where there have been at least we saw what happened with Bill Murray's movie. Like, if you know that there are some improprieties involving violence,
domestic
violence, you have to shut that down immediately. So no matter how, even if it was getting incredible ratings, I think that this had to go one way or the other, even with the number of accusations.
Yeah, the gun to his head.
I just have to say, it's clear that you're on the Lifetime spectrum of reality television, because on the other neighborhoods, they not stopping it down for violence.
What are you talking about, like WeTV? You want to go there with
They
me?
not stopping. I'm just saying, there's other places where they're like, oh, that was unfortunate. So next week we're going to put them back in the same room.
That's a good point, though. That's a good. I never thought about that. There are networks that don't care.
I just wonder where a fight goes. Like, me and my wife fight about dumb things. If you have a couple drinks, you get in an argument, and the next day you're like, well, I didn't mean that about Taco Bell. And then we're like, what do you say when you're like, I didn't mean to wrap that phone cord around your neck and put a gun to your head. Let's move on.
How do you have
Let's forget about the past.
She called it a joke. What's funny?
Obviously, I was just kidding. Coming up on DBL, the very funny and talented Howie Mandel. He's telling us about his new game show where contestants lie to win money.
Blac Chyna, the former fiance of reality TV star Rob Kardashian, is suing the Kardashian family for more than $140 million, claiming they ruined her career and caused lost wages. During the ongoing court case, Blac Chyna admitted to not paying taxes since 2015. The model, who said she made $2 million just last year, says she doesn't even have a bank account. People on social media are wondering if Chyna admitted to not paying taxes because she doesn't have a bank account. Now, while we can't speak to her motives for not paying taxes, we can look into this question. If you don't have a bank account, are you exempt from paying taxes? Let's verify. Our sources are the Internal Revenue Service, Mark Stieber, Chief Tax Information Officer at Jackson Hewitt, and the FDIC. According to the IRS, quote, federal income tax is based on the income you receive, no matter how you receive it, unquote. The agency says people are expected to pay taxes on their income, quote, regardless of what accounts they may or may not have, unquote. There are a few exceptions for people who don't meet the minimum age or income requirements, and those who claim certain filing statuses. All employers must file a W-2 form for workers making more than $600, so the IRS will expect to receive a tax return that matches those W-2s. The agency says not having a bank account does not preclude you from paying taxes. According to the FDIC, there are reportedly 7 million Americans who don't have a bank account. Mark Stieber, Chief Tax Information Officer at Jackson Hewitt, says most of those unbanked people still file their taxes annually. Stieber added, quote, just because someone doesn't have a bank account doesn't mean they get away with not filing their federal or state income taxes or paying taxes they may owe on earnings they have, unquote. So we can verify that yes, even if you don't have a bank account, you still have to pay your taxes. With your Verify, I'm Ariane Till.
He's one of the best hosts on TV, known for his humor, wit, and offering contestants a deal. Check out our great interview with Howie Mandel.
Please welcome the one and only Howie Mandel.
Yeah.
Sit down. That's not necessary.
Howie, before we get started, I have to ask you like birds? What bird in particular? What's happening? Your shirt.
I don't discriminate. I don't discriminate. But I do. I like birds. You don't?
I love birds.
All right, and I just want the world to know.
You're a comic, and that's what I wanted to ask you. You when you got COVID and you've been open about that, you locked yourself away for 10 days, and you said it was traumatizing. I can't imagine, as a fellow comic, how did you cope with the isolation of it all?
I didn't, and to be honest, I had to call my therapist and I had to up my medication, and the mental pain, I'm lucky. I'm vaxxed and I'm boosted, and the physical ailments were minimal. But, I've been with my wife is immune compromised, and I got sent home from work. So I was locked away. I had to stay away. And You know, one of the ways that I help myself mentally is with distraction and staying busy, and doing things like this just helps me get through my life, my day. And the fact that I couldn't do that, my mental pain was above and beyond. So I'm just glad to be out.
Yeah, good. We're happy for you.
With the birds!
Yeah! Okay, so Howie, we gotta talk about your new game show. Unfortunately, we can't say
I'm not allowed to say it.
Yeah, I know, we can't say the name on TV, so we're just gonna say bleep the game show. I'm gonna ask all our viewers, please go ahead, Google what the real name is.
Well, I can say half of it, right? I can say bull blank.
You said it, not me. I'm okay with that.
I'm allowed to say bull, it's an animal. So it's bull blank.
Cow with horns bleep. Yes, you can.
Yeah.
Okay, now I've heard that
it's now trending on Netflix. It's trending. We're number 3 on Netflix.
Congratulations. Let's get it to 1. Let's get it to number 1.
That's why I'm doing this show. You got to word, because you can win $1 million with the ability to lie. You don't have to know a thing, but you just have to convince one person that you know something, and you win money.
How fun.
And we've given away more money. This has been more fun. You know, I'm known for Deal or No Deal. This has got elements of Deal or No Deal, but it's even more exciting, more fun. I'm more excited. You got to go just share the bull blank with a friend.
I got to ask you then, since you're right there, can you tell when the contestants are lying? Are they that good?
That's why I love the show, because as a host, you know, when I was doing Deal or No Deal, it was just about picking cases. So I don't know what's going on, but I get to play the game a little bit. So I'm watching somebody who's answering a question, and that's the fun. I don't like trivia. You know, I'm not that well educated. I don't know that much about anything. But what's fun is, and that's what you should view, you look at somebody answering a question and you're just staring at them and you're going, they don't know what they're talking about. This is bull. And I got to play along with people, and that's the fun of the game. It's not what the answer is. It's does that person know the answer?
And everyone thinks they're a detector. You know what I mean? Everyone's like, let me get in there.
What detector?
Well, if you haven't seen the game, there are 3 detectors, and they are vying to get in that spot to play for $1 million. I will tell you this. I'm going to give you a little spoiler. I did give away the $1 million. And I gave away more money on this than I gave away on Deal or No Deal. You got to watch it. It's addictive. It really is.
I'll be checking it out tonight for sure, Howie. But you and your daughter, switching gears here, have a podcast now. Could you tell us a little bit more about that?
That's where I am right now. I'm in my podcast room. Cool. It's called Howie Mandel Does Stuff. And me and Jacqueline, when we were locked away at the beginning of the pandemic, when we were all quarantined and she didn't want to be with us because we're in our 60s, and I would call her on the phone, and I'd spend hours. We would do prank phone calls. We'd get like a friend on the line. We would do challenges. And my wife walked in one day and said, "What is this for?" I go, "What do you mean, what is this for?" She said, "You should record this."
I love that it was birthed out of just pure organic love between the two of you. Yeah. Howie, we thank you. DBL Nation, make sure to tune into Howie's new game show streaming now on Netflix. It's number 3. We got to get it to number 1. And also,
and AGT starts at the end of May.
Yes, and America's Got Talent, as well as the Howie Mandel Does Stuff podcast with his daughter.
Wow. And be nice to the birds.
Be nice to the birds.
Be nice to the birds.
Nice to birds. We'll be right back.
Thanks, Howie.
Thanks, man.
Promotional consideration is brought to you by...
Where's the ghost? Oh, no.
Ali Popel works 3 full-time jobs.
Excuse the mess as always.
At an IT company, as a realtor,
dinosaurs coming.
Whoa.
And as a dad.
This is my son, Aaron. He is now 11 months.
But to do anything, he first needs to make sure that his glucose is in check.
I'm type 1 diabetic. I'm insulin dependent, so my pancreas does not produce any insulin.
Without it, he could go into what's called diabetic ketoacidosis, or DKA, which could lead to a coma.
So this is life-saving. It's food, water, insulin for you.
I need it like oxygen, yes.
And right now, Ali is paying under $50 to get 5 vials of insulin. But back when he was unemployed and uninsured, he says he would pay anywhere from $400 to $800 per month, which is why he wants to know.
Why does it cost so much?
So let's verify. What explains the cost of insulin? For answers, we spoke with Gerard Anderson, a professor at Johns Hopkins University.
It's a very, very complicated supply chain.
And Dr. Robert Lash, the chief medical officer at the Endocrine Society. Our team also read this 269-page report from the U.S. House Oversight and Reform Committee and watched a 2019 congressional hearing on this exact subject. And according to our two experts, $10 to $25 is a fair estimate of the cost to create insulin. Although Dr. Lash referenced this study, which says that a vial of insulin could cost less than $8 to make. As for the price tag, well, that's complicated.
It doesn't make any sense. You're trying to make sense out of something that makes no sense.
Anderson explains there's limited competition. In fact, according to that House committee report, just 3 drug companies make up 90% of the global market. And here are their list prices. About $275 for Humalog, made by Eli Lilly. About $284 for Lantus, made by Sanofi. And almost $290 for Novolog, made by Novo Nordisk. But these list prices set by the manufacturer are just the first piece of the puzzle. Insurance companies will then negotiate a lower price through pharmaceutical benefit managers, or PBMs. Our experts say they decide which drugs get a favorable placement on what's called a formulary, which is essentially the list of drugs your insurance will cover. So making these PBMs happy with big rebates is a huge deal for the pharmaceutical companies.
There's been this dance where the rebate goes up, the price goes up, the rebate goes up, the price goes up.
And if you have good insurance, this dance may not impact you much. You only see that reduced price, but it's a different story for those with a high deductible.
Until they've incurred $3,000, $5,000, $10,000, they're going to have to pay the list price, unless their insurance somehow has negotiated something for them, but that's not common.
As for those with no insurance at all, our experts say that they're often going to have to really pay up.
If you don't have insurance at all, you're going to be paying list price.
And Medicare patients who don't have Part D, the prescription drug plan, could be in the same boat. Now, our team did reach out to the 3 pharmaceutical companies and listen to their 2019 testimony.
List price is only part of the story.
They essentially argue that the list price is a red herring because it doesn't factor in the big rebates, adding that there are also discounts available for those with and without insurance. Although you have to apply for these discounts, and it's up to the pharmaceutical company if you're going to be approved. So we can verify that for the uninsured or people with a high deductible, the answer is yes. They would have to pay hundreds of dollars unless they get a discount.
Woke up and said, today is gonna be a good day.
Yeah. At some point, you gotta decide for yourself if you're gonna stand up for what's wrong or what's right.
Like, are we living in bizarro world? Sorry, I ran out of steam there.
But you want to go back 20 years and cancel somebody for what they did? Who are you? There should be a special place on earth for you. You're out of order. This May, don't miss a day. DBL is all new every day. That's great. Welcome back. If you or anyone you know is suffering from long-haul COVID symptoms, you might actually want to consider low-impact exercises. That's today's Focus on Fitness presented by QB. At least 1 in 10 COVID patients suffer from lingering symptoms months after testing positive. But here's the good news. A new study suggests that light workouts can actually reduce long-haul COVID symptoms that include extreme fatigue, shortness of breath, and brain fog. QB is a great way to get some quick exercise regardless of physical ability or age. Try their under-desk elliptical at home. Call 1-800-556-2089 or visit QB.com to learn more. That's a great way to get some exercise, but back to us. That was a pretty cool.
How cool is that promo?
That was pretty cool ad.
We look rad.
We stay brand new.
Yeah. There you go. I like that. DB is new. This is cranked up in my ear. We'll see you tomorrow. Same time, same place.